Chapter 7. I hope I shall never be deterred from detecting what I think is a cheat. Samuel Johnson, 1709 to 1784. One of the crimes which puzzled, and probably still puzzles, the general public was that of taking and driving away a motor vehicle without having either the consent of the owner or other lawful authority. This bafflement has arisen because this is not the same crime as stealing a motor vehicle. The two are quite distinct, and the essential difference is that stealing entails the intention of permanently depriving the owner of his property, while the unauthorized borrower has no such intention. He takes a vehicle for a joyride, and youths would take cars simply to get them home after a night out, after which they would abandon them with little thought of the owner's anguish, or little anxiety about the damage and expense they'd caused the unfortunate owner. Almost without exception, the cars were found by the police and restored to their owners. For some years, this unlawful taking of motor vehicles was not a crime, simply because it had not been considered when the early definitions of larceny were compiled. To prosecute the takers for something, they were occasionally charged with stealing the petrol they had consumed. This smacked of desperation, but what else could be done by the police? Later, because an increasing number of cars were being borrowed illicitly, the offence was written into the law, albeit not as part of the law on stealing, but as part of the 1930s road traffic law. It was another 30 years or so before the law realised that other forms of conveyance were also borrowed without lawful authority, and that no statute catered for them. They included bikes, hang gliders, aircraft, boats, trains, and roller skates. In fact, it now includes anything constructed or adapted for the carriage of persons by land, water, or air, whether or not such a thing has an engine fitted. However, it does not include things which are pedestrian-controlled, such as prams and lawn mowers. This long overdue 1968 law did, of course, continue to include cars, lorries, buses, and other such means of transport. The unlawful borrowing of that mass of other conveyances was not written into the